It's the Channel Mom Show with Jenny Dean Schmidt. We're here for you.
The new year is going to look beautiful on you. How about an age-defying facial with the new antioxidant serum from Lemongrass Spa, where you can have the spa treatment without the spa price tag. Just shop lemongrassspa.com.
This is where all the worry ends. This is where I say I don't need to have control.
Okay.
This is where I
Love that song. Welcome back to the Channel Mom Show. I tell you a story about that band, so you can keep it there going, Dan. That's for King and Country.
I don't have any of their stuff. I need it.
Yeah, for King and Country from Australia. They happen to be a Christian band. They were on Leno 3 nights ago. But here's the funny thing. About a year ago, they came to Colorado to do a little tour of like small churches. And we live in Bailey. And they came up to Platte Canyon Community Church for about 50 people and played on a very cold night in this like almost empty church. And then a year later, they're on Leno. I just think that's cool. Anyway, I really like them for King and Country.
Their rise to stardom went through Bailey.
Yeah, through Bailey, of course. All roads go through Bailey.
Yes.
All roads to fame go through Bailey. Absolutely. Okay, Shell. I'm still reeling from your middle school choir story, but I'll try to get through the show. The boys who had to raise their hands because their voices hadn't changed. Okay, let's just be honest about 2 things. Number 1, the majority of adult America is probably on a diet right now because it's January. Number 2, kids in America have an obesity problem. 27% of kids in Colorado, and I think Colorado is considered kind of a healthy state, 27% of kids in Colorado are classified as obese. I believe I have that statistic right. So we here at the Channel Mom Show like to help moms and their kids. So we brought in an expert to answer your questions, give you some tips. He's the author of the Step Diet book. He's also behind an exciting new program for kids that could be coming to a school near you. He happens to be the founding executive director of the Ann Schutz Health and Wellness Center at the University of Colorado on Ann Schutz Medical Campus. A brilliant man. He wouldn't brag on himself, but he has a whole list on this page, this resume of awards and various positions that he holds, and he's a worldwide speaker. Just really excited to have him. Welcome to the Channel Mom Show, Dr. Jim Hill.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Oh, well, we're glad to have you. But doctor, you're an expert on this. I mean, you sit on the boards that look at obesity. You're trying to figure out a scientific approach to reduce obesity. Is that correct?
That's correct. It's a real problem, as you mentioned earlier. Colorado's 27%. We're middle of the pack on childhood obesity. We're the leanest state for adults, but not for kids. So the future doesn't bode well unless we really get in and do something with our kids.
Right. And can I just ask you, because then I want to get to a question about what's happened to Americans that we've got this epidemic now of obesity. And let's talk about that so moms can get a handle on how they can prevent it. But why do you have a passion for this? Because did you struggle with weight yourself? I mean, what goes on with you that this is your passion?
No, I didn't. I struggle with not gaining weight like everybody else, but and that's the other thing. Most people that aren't obese work hard not to do it. It's just that I've seen how it affects people and how it leads to development of diabetes and heart disease and so much of human suffering that we could actually prevent if we could get a handle on weight.
Yeah, especially in the Western culture, yes. I mean,
yes.
So let's talk about this, because I have a feeling this has become, and you can tell me statistically, but a greater problem in the last 50 years. So what is it about our modern diet and our modern lifestyle, and I have some guesses, of course, that has caused such an epidemic of obesity, both among adults and children? What's going on in the way that we eat and live that everybody's gotten so overweight?
So go back to maybe the day of your great-grandfather when there wasn't very much obesity around. People lived very differently. They had to get out and they had to be active, and you didn't have a grocery store next door or fast food restaurants. So what experts believe is that obesity is a side effect of societal advancement. Think about it. What we do now, we don't have to work very much in our jobs. We sit at computers. We're very inactive. And there's food everywhere around. So for most of our history, we worried more about starving to death than anything else. Now, with no need to be active during the day and food so inexpensive and available and good tasting, we've got what we call a mismatch between our biology and our environment. Our biology is set up to eat whenever food's available, because in your great-grandfather's time, that was a pretty good strategy, and to rest when you didn't have to move. So now we're eating all the time and we're resting all the time.
Yeah. What's the movie, Shelley, with the two robots where the people are in outer space and they're constantly in their spaceships and they're all overweight?
Yeah, I don't know.
I can't remember the name of that movie.
I remember that one, yeah.
Yes, and it was very poignant because it kind of said, convenience is killing us.
And it's affecting everybody. That's the problem, is the average American gains a pound or two every year. Who notices, right? But a decade later, whoa, 20 pounds.
Yeah, exactly. So moms who are listening today, and I promise you we're going to get to your program. I just went and liked it on Facebook yesterday. Fifth year kids, we're going to talk about it coming up. But first, moms who are listening today, many of them themselves are struggling with an extra 10 pounds, an extra 20 pounds, or even an extra 100 pounds. What are 2 or 3 principles that you can give them for how, and some of it they've heard before, but I imagine you've got some insight that nobody else has about how they can really change this year to jumpstart their metabolism, to change their lifestyle. What would you say are 2 or 3 top things that you have found can really help to reduce obesity?
So one of the things that we find oftentimes, if you're out there with that extra 20 pounds or 30 pounds or 100 pounds, you didn't gain it overnight, and you aren't going to get rid of it overnight. So number one, we approach this as a long-term solution. Start small. Start by not gaining weight. If you don't gain that 1 to 2 pounds every year that most people gain, you're ahead of the game. What we tell you is start making small changes in your diet and your physical activity, and you'll be amazed that those will add up and up and up. So look at your weight loss as a longer-term process, not a 6-week process, a year-long or longer process.
Yeah, I love it because let me just say this. What I see people do is they think, oh my gosh, I got to go to a diet, I got to lose 20 pounds. So it's this really strict, awful thing where they're exercising an hour and a half a day and they're killing themselves and they're only eating, protein, little bits of protein and fruits and vegetables, and they can never have anything fun. And so then they lose their 20 pounds and they're so craving all those things they've been missing, and they're so exhausted from the incredible workouts that they've been doing, they just gain it right back.
We are doing weight loss so wrong in this country. Let me tell you this. Losing weight is easy. I'll give any of your listeners a money-back guarantee on weight loss. We know we can produce it. The problem is most people lose it in a way that they don't learn how to live a lifestyle to maintain it. Almost everybody who loses it regains it. We got to quit concentrating on the lose it part. That's the easy part.
Yeah.
And on helping people achieve a lifestyle that allows them to maintain it.
Amen. And it can be a fun lifestyle.
It should be a fun lifestyle. I keep telling my colleagues that we're selling deprivation. Give up all the foods you like and go sit on some piece of exercise equipment you hate, and we're amazed people aren't lining up to do that.
Yeah. I sometimes wonder in my mind what the God of the universe must think about the fact that we sit at a computer all day and then we go and kill ourselves at a gym because we don't do physical labor anymore for our living, to make our money, to create our food. And I think that is just so ironic.
We've got to change the culture on this if we have any hope of fixing America's weight.
Yeah, like walk to work or all kinds of things.
Walking is the single best thing you can do. If people listening out there, if you want to change one behavior, start walking more. It is amazing. We see so many people saying, oh, that's not real exercise, that's just walking. We have seen people change their lives simply by get a pedometer and start walking more.
That's wonderful news for a lot of people because they think, oh, I hate doing the stair stepper, I hate jogging, and they make themselves do it, like you said, for that 6-week program, and then they can't keep it up.
If you don't like it, you're not going to continue it the rest of your life, and if you don't continue it the rest of your life, you're going to regain the weight.
So just say, let's start with 10 minutes of walking, and then do 20 minutes, and literally they can do that over a year till they're up to 30 minutes 4 or 5 times a week, and that's all they have to do, and that will change their life, yes?
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely. It will change their life. And then what we find, once you start doing that, you want to do more changes. You get excited about it. You get to see that you can do it. It's starting small, but the result can really be big. Yeah,
and we're about to get to children here in a second. Tell me just quickly, though, about the STEP Diet book. Is that something that you still apply for people?
It is. What the STEP Diet book tells you is why increasing physical activity is the key to weight loss success. Everybody wants to do it with diet, and diet is important to get the weight off. But most people fail because they don't increase their physical activity. And the STEP Diet book shows you how simply by getting a pedometer and starting to walk more, you can actually keep off the weight you lose.
Right. And it's small changes. People don't need to be freaked out this January, right?
Just walk to the grocery store. You were going anyway.
Yeah.
Take a year-long plan. If you have a resolution around weight, don't make it a 6-month resolution. Make it a 1-year resolution, and you succeed if you weigh exactly the same next year as you weigh this year.
Interesting.
That's one measure of success.
Yeah. I like it. Okay, so before we go to the break, I want you to at least give people a little teaser about the fact that you have a heart for kids and you don't want them to grow up to be unhealthy adults who die by the age of 50 because they've been overweight their whole lives. So tell us about this breakthrough program that you've got coming to schools in the Colorado area.
We have what we think is a breakthrough program where we're working with fifth graders in 2 school districts, Cherry Creek School District and Aurora Public Schools. And the goal is not to tell kids what to do. If you ever had a fifth grader and tried to tell them what to do, good luck. What we do in this program is teach them the skills they need to make their own decisions about their health and their weight.
Right, and you've got incentives and things like that. When I want to tell people a little bit more about the incentives coming up.
They have a really cool card that rewards them for making healthy choices in the community. We're teaching them to be healthy consumers, so they earn discounts and rewards if they make healthy choices in restaurants and physical activity places and YMCAs and even King Soopers grocery store.
Coming up after the break, you're going to stay with us. I want you to give people some details so they and their kids can get excited. And then I want you to tell us, not right now, but when we come back, whether or not other schools can look forward to seeing this come. Just briefly before we go to the break, Doctor, and by the way, we are talking to Dr. Jim Hill, who is heading up this new 5th-year kids program and is the author of the Step Diet book and is just an expert on obesity, and he has a heart to stop it in America. Doctor, what are 1 or 2 things that have led our kids, other than inactivity, to gain weight? Is it some of the things that we're now putting in our foods? That's what I want to know. Is it the high fructose corn syrup? Is the trans fats? Tell me about that. Is that what?
So that's a question I get asked all the time, and the answer is it's none of those.
Okay.
It's all of those.
Oh.
It's a lot of little things. You can change any one of those. We hear a lot about high fructose corn syrup. Well, high fructose corn syrup is not a healthy diet ingredient, but that alone is not doing it. We could get rid of all the high fructose corn syrup, we'd still have the problem. We need to change 100, 200 little things, not 1 or 2 big ones.
Can you name a couple others? Because high fructose corn syrup is very popular, so are trans fats. Are there a couple things people don't know? If you're talking about the 100 things, can you tell us a couple more?
So a couple of things. When it comes to beverages, the only caloric beverages, the only beverages with calorie that your kid should be doing is milk and maybe a little bit of juice. You don't really need to get calories from other beverages.
Okay.
You need to watch portion size, and treats should be treats. I'm a big believer that life would be far less fun without ice cream and candy and stuff, but these aren't everyday things. These are once in a while treats.
Yeah. And other things can be yummy. I mean, I think whole wheat toast with butter and maybe a little bit of honey, that can be something that so they don't have to feel like they got to have dessert every day.
If you start kids early, giving them those foods, guess what? They learn to like them.
Yeah, absolutely. Amen. Dr. Jim Hill, we're going to be back with him in a minute, talk more about 5th-year kids, whether or not you can have hope coming to a school near you, because we do have national listeners that they're going to be interested in that.